讯网的网友，大家好，欢迎来到2018腾讯百所国际名校开学季展播暨名校长高端访谈。这里是苏州 W 酒店，今天我们非常荣幸地邀请到了苏州伊顿国际学校的校长 James Waldron 先生。Nice to meet you, Mr. Waldron, and please say hello to our audience.
Nice to meet you. I'm very glad to be here.
Yeah, we know that September is the starting of a new semester. So what kinds of activities have you organized?
Many different things. We've been celebrating the opening of our new early years playground, celebrating the renovation of our early years classrooms. So that's been a lot of fun. We've also been celebrating our brand new gym. So we have a new floor in the gym, a new climate control system in the gym. So it's all been quite a lot of things going on. We've also had house events already so far this semester, including an overnight stay at the school for our middle years students. We're looking forward to climbing a hill quite soon, a hill temple with our PYP students, also as part of our opening team building activities. We've had a great time.
Yeah. So what do you want to say to the teachers and students?
Oh, thank you so much for all of the teachers especially. This is a day, a couple of days after Teachers' Day. The teachers have worked extraordinarily hard in getting the school ready. They've come together as an amazing team. They've continued the wonderful family atmosphere that we're known for at EtonHouse, and they're building upon that. They're pushing themselves even harder and enabling the schooling to get even better. And the pupils are wonderful. They're amazing. This is one of the highlights of the school. Whenever we have visitors, they always comment on how happy our children are, on how great they are to talk with, on their academics. It's a really pleasurable place to work. I feel quite honoured to be there.
Yeah, and based on the Chinese and global education situation, so what do you think is the foundation or essence of the international school?
Well, the point of an international school should be to bring everyone together. You can bring everyone together in many different ways. Events are one of those things that we do, that we view as being very important. We've got a large number of different nationalities, and we're very proud of these. Obviously, we've got a large contingent from China. But we've also got a large contingent from Japan, a large contingent from Korea, and we've got Americans, Australians. We've got and the usual thing is you've got all the flags outside the front, and you've got the festivals that you celebrate, and you've got the food that you do during these festivals. But it's not just about that sort of thing. It's more about the atmosphere of everybody wanting to work together to make the school a better place. And by taking that, you can then move towards making the world a better place. We talk about affecting our community and things that we can do to affect our community. And I expect our pupils to do that, and they do. So, for example, with setting up a school shop or running a school shop with the pupils. But I expect them to go bigger than that. So with the money they earn from that, what are they going to do? Which charity are they going to give to? How are they going to affect change in the community? How is the community going to, frankly, miss them when they finally graduate out of year 13, when they go abroad? And what can they do when they get to their universities to affect change? What can they do when they leave their universities to affect change? How can they make their world a better place? Because, frankly, well, you and I, we're just borrowing this place. It really belongs to the children. Yes, they have, very much so. I think you've got a coming together of minds. Again, this is an international thing. You've got an understanding from Western parents that their children have fallen behind academically compared to Asia. They read the newspapers, they see what's happening, and they see that they hear about Shanghai Maths, they hear about the Singapore curriculum, they hear about the fact that in many different benchmarks that China is becoming a leader. And so they're naturally concerned to make sure that academically their students reach the same sort of level. But they don't want to lose the other wonderful things, the whole round holistic education that international schools provide. On the other hand, Chinese parents, they expect naturally, and Asian parents expect naturally high academics. Korean parents expect high academics. Everybody knows that these are extremely hard-working pupils, and the parents demand a large amount of homework. But at the same time, these parents also now expect everything else, the holistic education. They expect the trips, they expect the excursions, they expect the artwork, they expect the music, they expect the theatre. They expect their children to be well-rounded. So the international schools are providing this. And what's wonderful is that meeting of minds, the fact that everybody's moving towards the same sort of goal of high-quality holistic education, and everybody has that sort of very high expectation, which is brilliant as a school leader, because this is just what I want to do. This is what is exciting.
So please share with us your school management wisdom or strategy.
Well, what you've got to do really is, I read an interesting quote this morning talking about that leaders that lack in self-confidence inspire through fear. Leaders that have confidence, they're looking to bring the team along with them. They're looking for respect, absolutely. But leaders that are the most successful are those that expect a challenge. Those that they may well come up with the ideas, they may well say, well, we could go this way, but they expect their staff to turn around and they expect them to say, well, yes, you're right, but have you thought of this? That's what I want. I want everybody to be going in the right direction. I want everybody to make sure that we're heading in the correct direction. But I want people to turn around to me and I want them to tell me how we can adjust the tiller slightly, how it can be even better.
Yes, yes. So what do you think is the mission of the educator?
The mission of the educator is to effect change in the world. The educators don't get into it for the money. You've got a lot of bright people in education. They could be making more money elsewhere. Educators get into it because they can see the change in their pupils in the classroom. And then they become coordinators, and they can start to affect change in departments, and they can start to affect change to a larger number of people. And then they become heads of department. It's larger still. The whole point really of being an educator is affecting change in large numbers of people. It gets back to that thing that I was mentioning before about affecting change in the world and teaching our pupils to affect change in the world. Well, we should expect to do the same thing as educators. We're changing our staffing, we're changing our ethos, we're driving forward to make sure that we're always looking to be the best. Very, very high expectations. And within that, you can ensure that you can change the world. Your bit of the world will remain forever with your fingerprints on it.
Yeah. So what's the book you are reading recently?
Well, that links in very deeply to what you've just asked. I'm rereading Creative Schools by Sir Ken Robinson. It's a fantastic book. His book, The Element, is, I think, probably life-changing for anybody that reads it. And that's basically a blanket statement. Anybody can pick up The Element and find that book to be fantastic. Creative Schools is designed basically to answer all the questions that are raised in his other books. What I love about this book is it's a pretty darn good guideline for how things should be. By following these ethos, the ethos that's laid down in there for different areas, you can get everybody along with you, and you can affect the sort of change that everybody wants to see. And these sorts of things are things that the educators want. These are the things that the parents want. These are the things that the pupils want. So it's an automatic win. This book is brilliant, and yeah, rereading it just before the term start was brilliant.
Mm-hmm. So how long have you been in China?
I first came to China in '98 as a visitor, and I've been living in the Shanghai, Wuxi, and Suzhou area since 2002. So I've been here quite a long time now.
So are your family in China or EU?
My family's in China, yeah. I have, yes, yeah. So I have a wife and 2 children, yeah.
Yeah. So your children is studying in China?
Yes, my children are studying at EtonHouse, yes, at my school.
Oh.
Yes, it's one of the benefits.
Have you been to Beijing?
Yes, I have been to Beijing. Beijing's a wonderful city.
We are from Beijing.
Yes, many wonderful people are from Beijing. Absolutely.
There are so many people in Beijing.
Yeah.
Capital is always there are so many people and it's so crowded.
Oh, I lived for a long time in Shanghai, and Shanghai's equally as crowded. Yeah.
Yeah, and in fact, we will hold an international school annual ceremony in Beijing, and if you can come to participate in the ceremony, we will feel so honored. And what are your requirements and suggestions about such a ceremony on international education?
Well, I'm an educator. That means I want to learn more. So if you can provide me with opportunity to learn from my colleagues in roundtable discussions, or for me to listen to other educators who are leaders in their field, I think that would be something that would attract me to making it up there. I like going to Beijing. I'll be going to Beijing anyway in November, but not at the same time as your conference, I don't think. So maybe I can make it up twice in 1 month. We'll see.
And have you heard about Tencent?
Of course. Absolutely.
So you are familiar with Tencent?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, I use your products on a daily basis.
So do you think is WeChat convenient?
One of the audience members that we have here is actually one of our school admin, and the reason she's laughing is because I run the school through WeChat. We have groups for everything. I use WeChat more than I use email. It's massively convenient. You can start up teams, and the teams can be cross-disciplinary, and they can be started up immediately. I love using this tool, and I genuinely do. It's a joy to have something that moves as quickly as I do. With WeChat, the world can move at my pace, which wasn't the case before I had WeChat.
And thank you so much for your recognition of Tencent and WeChat. And at last, please send your wishes to our ceremony.
This is a wonderful event. I think this is absolutely amazing that we can have companies such as Tencent who's interested in China and Chinese education. Obviously, our pupils are the future.
And thank you again, Mr. Waldron, and we are so honored to have invited Mr. Waldron for the interview, and we hope that we will have more opportunities to share the opinions on international education with Mr. Waldron. And thank you again. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.